What up, everybody? After having Gordo knock off Lorenzo in episode 5, at the end of episode 6, Monet is walking in the house after coming home from Lorenzo's funeral, and she has a hallucination of Lorenzo sitting at the dining room table smoking a cigar. And he tells Monet they're gonna figure it out. And when they do, they're never gonna forgive you. So the question I have for today's video is, will Lorenzo's death be Monet's downfall? Go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comment section. The first thing to realize with Lorenzo being dead is that Monet is at home all alone for the first time in 25 years. Maybe her first time living alone in her whole life if she was still living with her parents prior to marrying Lorenzo. Monet has been married to Lorenzo for 25 years. After marrying Lorenzo, she had 3 kids with him: Kane, Drew, and Diana. So even when Lorenzo was doing his prison bid, she still had all 3 of her kids living with her. Even at the beginning of season 3, all 3 of her kids were still living at home. Then Diana left home to attend school at Stansfield, and Kane and Drew were given the keys to live at Mecca's penthouse. So living at home all alone will be an adjustment in itself that Monet is going to have to make. Monet has had a love interest each season, though being married to Lorenzo at the same time. In season 1, she was having an affair on Lorenzo with that dirty cop, Detective Ramirez. In season 2, her high school sweetheart and her other baby daddy, Dante Spears, aka Mecca, came back into the picture. It seems as if Monet never even loved Lorenzo in the first place, but was only using him. In season 1, she told Detective Ramirez that Lorenzo's name gives her respect in these streets. One thing I always wondered is, did Monet set Lorenzo up to go to prison once she was in position where she knew enough to take over? It is believed that Rock has done this multiple times in raising Kanan, and I definitely would not put it past Monet either. One character to keep your eyes out on is Kai. Kai is an instigator who made a comment about Monet at Lorenzo's repast. This comment set Drew off. Kai was also in episode 1 as Kay and Drew were looking for a new connect. He told them they would need to pay up front and also give him 50% of their profit. Paying up front is cool, but I have never heard of anyone wanting 50% of the profit. This is like a slap in the face. And Kane rightfully told Kai to get on out. Now that Monet is all alone with no backup, the wolves could be out roaming. Be on the lookout for Kai to make a move on Monet at some point. Something else I'm interested in is the details of Monet and Davis's relationship. It seems like there is a little bit more going on there than what meets the eye. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Davis and Monet are hooking up already, and if they're not hooking up, they might be related or something like that. Right now, Monet is also playing both sides with Kane and Drew of who should be taking Lorenzo's place as the head of the family. She has told both of them that it's their position, but to keep this only between the 2 of them. Playing both sides is never a good idea because it will only be a matter of time until she is found out. Monet's plan just may be to be the head of the family herself. Currently, both Drew and Diana think the Russians are responsible for Lorenzo's death, or at least Drew. Diana is likely just taking Drew and Monet's word for it because she is too busy having a good time partying at Stansfield to be thinking about who killed Poppy. And Lorenzo said all them kids gonna hate her when they find out the truth. I don't know about that because I didn't see a single one of them shed a single tear. As for Kane, he knows that the Russians weren't involved and that this was an inside job. Because he knows the whole story that Lorenzo killed Zeke, and that Monet also now knows. Kane knows Monet is involved, but he's not playing his hand, and he better be real careful about how he do, because Monet is not Lorenzo and wouldn't hesitate to kill Kane herself if he started pressing her. However, Monet now has a problem with Gordo. In the episode 7 trailer, we see Monet telling Gordo to cut off his relationship with Drew. And Gordo's reply was that he's going to keep seeing Drew and Monet's not going to do anything about it. Obviously, Gordo's holding the fact that Monet set Lorenzo up to die over her head. Power Law 19 says, know who you're dealing with, do not offend the wrong person. And Gordo must not know who he messing with. See, Kane played his cards right and didn't try to press Monet because he knows his mama. Gordo, on the other hand, just sealed his fate trying to one-up Monet. So I don't know how she gonna do it, but I'm definitely expecting her to set Gordo up to die. I'm not expecting him to live past another episode or two. Getting me to Evelyn Castillo. I said that Monet made many mistakes in her plan to take out Lorenzo. 2 of them being turned into Kane and to Evelyn Castillo. With Lorenzo turning up dead just days after Monet approached her, Evelyn likely expects that Monet was involved in Lorenzo's death. She's going to be able to tell that Monet was setting Lorenzo up to die. Her whole reason for not seeking revenge was that she doesn't want something to happen to one of her boys. When Gordo ends up dead, Evelyn will quickly add up what happened, and it may start a war with the Castillos, or it could put a target on Monet's back alone from the Castillo family. Monet also has the problem of the mounting RICO case against her family. Both Detective Whitman and Lauren have placed Monet as the head of the whole operation. She is the lead suspect in Mecca's death, and they also just caught Diana on the Stansfield roof stashing away a couple bricks of coke. So right now, Monet has trouble coming at her from every direction. So it would look like Monet's downfall is on the horizon. But I think Monet is going to find a way to make it out of all this. Monet is a survivor. And in my opinion, Monet is the most untouchable character in the whole show other than Tariq. As long as Mary J wants to be on the show, Monet gonna survive. However, I did mention before the season started that if Mary does want to take a break from the show and come back later on, Monet going to do a prison bid would be the easiest solution. And before I go, I've been seeing a lot of Mary J hate on the internet, people hating on her acting. You must not understand the Monet character. Monet is a G. She's cold-hearted. She is not supposed to be a character who shows a lot of emotion in the first place. So in my opinion, Mary J is doing a fantastic job. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.